Hello, friends, visitors from the human plane. I've awaited your arrival. Are you weary? You must be exhausted. Well, come in. Ignore the beeping. It is merely just the locusts outside. It's a very calming noise once you get used to it. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the other side. I hope you're all doing well. For those of you who do not know me, I am Cass Wilder, part-time archaeologist, full-time explorer of the ancient world. And as for today, I am but another humble servant for another clan. Cool fox mask, I like it. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I hope you're doing well, Hana. And Orpheus, I see you in the chat as well. Hope you've been alright. Pretty weird that you come from one underworld to another. I wouldn't call this an underworld, more a metaphysical realm, I would say. But either way, I hope you enjoy your stay, as we uncover the many secrets within Abesugaoka and the Fox Clan. I have arrived as their emissary of sorts. And yeah, five stream streak. Those past minute I am planning to watch for about another 40 minutes or so. I appreciate that, Hana. But please try to get some rest. A wary mind is not good for your body. And where we're going, it will be wary on you. All of you. Speaking of which, why is the music so cheerful when it's supposed to be... maybe my playlist is actually out. One moment. This doesn't seem right. No, not at all. One moment. This seems quite inappropriate, considering... Let's see, is this it? No, that is not it. I've grown accustomed to the more primitive side of Miko duties and such. I hope you'll forgive me. I'm a little out of touch. But I wanted to prepare at least this incredible journey for you as we go through the Dark Shrine and uncover many secrets that may ail your mind. Now, if only I could find it. Excuse me, that is very improper of me. I'm supposed to be more demure about this. Perhaps I stole it and you didn't notice. We have no time for your mischievous acts, Hana. You should know better. We are in a very holy place, a very sanctimonious place. Here we must cast aside our childish... what was I saying? Ah, yes. I must be looking for whatever it was. Perhaps this would do? Ah, yes. Welcome. Properly this time. Welcome to the Dark Shrine. I hope you enjoy your stay. Let the eerie serenity of this music calm you and your mind as we enter. A Shadow Succubi cares not for traditions, especially as a thief. Well, I will not tolerate any thieves, and neither will the other inhabitants of the shrine too, because it is layered with many, many monsters and many kegare, impurities that haunt the human mind as well. And believe me, we do not want our guests to be corrupted by these spirits, now do we? No, absolutely not. Should I dispense with the formalities, or should we just get right? Should I just keep continuing? Anyways, hi guys. Dropping the roleplay a little bit, but how are you guys doing? I'm glad you like my mask. You do you, man. It's a blast. Shadows are but another friend of mine, but fine. Duly noted, dear companion. You know what? This little change in the scenery was actually a little last minute thing, because I wanted to do something that was more or less how do I say it? I wanted it to be a little more like ominous, more fitting for like Silent Hill as well. So if you guys enjoy that little bit of roleplay, then that's fine. I was trying to do my best Ikemen impression. I got into Duet Night Abyss on a whim. I love collecting little pets and friends known as Genimon. Genimon! Interesting. Is that like a Digimon, except they're in a bottle? Well, a lot of genies aren't bottles. I mean, it's either like a vase or a little lamp or a bottle, either one. But Jin are pretty fickle. A lot of them, they're not like the the Robin Williams sort of thing, where it's just like, you know, fourth wall breaks and so on, so forth, but no. Not really. They are spirits, what appear to be yokai. They can be shiny too. Interesting. Kind of like Pokemon. Okay. Anyways, so, oh, what happened to my tracking? What happened to my tracking? What the hell? I should probably get some light on. That should do it. That should do it. Yeah. That'll help with my tracking. But yeah. I actually made a fox mask for Kimi as well, in the case that she wants to continue the endings with Silent Hill F. Because there's so many other good endings out there that I want to complete with her. We only completed the one ending where it's actually just a psychotic break in her 20s the entire time. I lost 2 shinies due to bad luck. It happens, but I do love collecting things. Okay. That's nice. Like Uma's. That's always nice. It's perfect. Plus the movement in the game, it really scratches my itch for exploration and mobility. Nice. That's good. You know what? I nearly died today. I hate to segue into another thing, but I actually died today. I nearly died today. I didn't actually die. Otherwise, why would I still be here? Wait. Maybe I'm not alive. Maybe I'm just a ghost haunting the internet. I'm a ghost in the machine, baby! That's why I'm at the other side of the world. Why I'm in this metaphysical plane. I am actually dead. I have ceased to be. I'm a stiff bereft of life. I rest in peace. If I wasn't in the Dark Shrine, I'd be pushing up daisies. I've expired, gone up to join the choir invisible. I am an ex-archaeologist.
You are going to die.
Well, I guess. But that's how I actually felt when I woke up and I saw the snow. I saw the snow and it looked like everything was getting all fixed up. Like they were getting rid of all the snow on the street, which is good. But as soon as I was going into work, I grabbed my breakfast and I was going to the intersection where I would cross into my work area, and my car started to skid. It started to skid, and I'm panicking a little because I'm almost there to the other car right in front of me, and I'm like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit! And I'm just turning my car, trying to create friction, and my car does a complete 180. And next thing you know, I am facing another car right behind me. I didn't crash, which is good. But I hate winter because of this. I really, really, really hate winter. And be careful out there, guys, because the ice will get you when you least expect it. You might think that once everybody gets into their snow mobiles and they just push out all the snow, that's it. No. They'll miss some spots. And snow will stick to the ground, and the next thing you know, ice will get you when you least expect it. Hi, Ashline. Welcome in. I love snow, hate the ice. Same. Snow is very beautiful to look at. I will admit that. But when it comes to ice, hell no. Absolutely not. You don't need to be careful where I am, because there hasn't been a good snow for about 3 years, and it's spotty as heck if I do get snow or not. I see. Well, that's nice. I'm stuck with the snow. I mean, like, I'm in the Midwest, and that's where snow just happens when you least expect it. It's like getting mugged in the streets of Chicago. If you ever want to make somebody pay for a crime that they did against you, send them to Chicago. That's what I say. I used to live in Michigan. I feel that. Yeah, I bet. Daily check-in. Thank you so much, Spartan, for coming in. How are you? Meanwhile, hailed in Nebraska Saturday. Aha. Oh my god. Hailed? Like, oh my god. I haven't seen hail in a long time. Meanwhile, I'm on an island by its lonesome. Well, that's nice. You get some space to yourself. I want to go to an island. Okay. Kimi's texting me from the forest. I don't know if she realizes I'm actually streaming right now. Small specks, no damage. Got it. England isn't doing great right now, but it be how it be. I gotcha. You know, I've always wanted to try going to England sometime. Maybe just like to see a lot of the historical places, and maybe even like some of the legendary milestones, like, say, King Arthur's supposed grave, where a lot of Fate fans make their pilgrimage, and maybe even like see that one statue of Merlin. Allegedly the statue of Merlin. But yeah. It's something I just want to do one day. Hopefully one day. Wait, do I have enough water? I don't have water! Oh, wait, I do have water. It's actually over there. Hold on 1 second. I'm a failure as a streamer. I come unprepared with no water. What is wrong with me? Whew. So yeah, I might do some more Silent Hill sometime later on, and there is going to be more events that I am planning in the future. I mean, not just gaming, because I think you guys have had enough of me just like taking control of the controller for far too long. Perhaps I should go to bed now. Nearly 1 a.m. Just know I'll be lurking in the shadows. Can't get rid of this shadow succubus thief, but... Alright, well, get some rest, okay? Don't worry about me. Just do what you do. I'm actually going to be starting up on Myth Mondays as well, because I've already prepared a slide. It's about 15 to 16 pages. Yeah. But yeah, how many of you have actually played Silent Hill F? The new Silent Hill game. Do you recognize this mask too? I had to get this on. It was imperative. I hope my model's not lacking. Visit England for King Arthur? Nah, visit Ireland for the Child of Light! Yeah! Hell yeah! Especially Skahak too. Gotta love Kukulkan. It's really hard to remember how Kukulkan's name is actually pronounced. Is it Kukulkan, or Kukulane? I don't know. I call him Ku. The Child of Light. But yeah. I miss Fate. And I actually miss Lancer too. He was one of the most unlucky sons of bitches, but he was a noble one at that. Especially in Unlimited Blade Works. I know, right? Exactly. I just, it's funny, but I feel bad for how Carnival Phantasm is so aware of his abysmal luck that they just start killing him at every turn. And the same goes for Diarmid. They couldn't have picked a less luckier bastard than him. I feel bad for him, honestly. I mean, chivalry got in the way, and next thing you know, he thought everybody was gonna play fair, but no! This is a war! And a lot of these people don't play fair, especially Kiritsugu. And the next thing you know, he's bleeding from his eyes and everything else, and he's cursing the Grail. I remember Kimi actually had a bit of a crush on him, too. She got so mad what happened. She'll probably get over it, though. I think she already has. Unlimited Blade Works, Heaven's Field, Grand Order, Dude was a baller all around. Exactly. And so is his teacher, Skahak. Holy shit. Hello, teacher. Care to teach me a lesson? Oh my god. You know, Skahak was actually my first SSR. And I'm so happy that she was. Still is. Now she's my Grand Lancer. I actually have a whole roster of like SSRs currently as Grand Servants. You know what? I should probably do a stream of Fate Grand Order sometime. Maybe when the Archer battles come around. Because Archer's the next class to be for Grand. So I'm thinking maybe I could do a stream where we can grind a little to upgrade our chosen Archer for the class. And I have a couple candidates. I have a couple Divine Archers that I really like. One of them being Arjuna, which I already have at MP level 3 and is a powerhouse in his own right. And then there's Gilgamesh, the one I have already leveled up to 100 out of just like pure respect. And because you can't slack off with the king. You can't slack off. You can't keep him at a level below 100. No. That would be just utter disrespect. We're talking about the King of Heroes here, the self-righteous, arrogant bastard, but he has the power to back it up. So he might take the position of Grand Archer. I don't know. We'll see. I'm guessing it would be either Gil or Arjuna as the Grand Archer boss. Maybe. Otherwise, I'm just thinking, like, you know how they kind of like side blinded us with the Grand Assassin. We thought it was going to be Grandpa Hassan, but no. It was Azrael? Who the fuck is Azrael? Why does he have the same name as Grandpa Hassan's Noble Phantasm? Is this the guy that it's based off of? Hello? Not just gonna make Archer Emiya hate you more by making you more connected with the counter force. No, I'm not gonna do that to my man Emiya. No. Emiya deserves a whole lot more than that. I will keep him at arm's length, but I won't keep him as a Grand Archer. No. I don't think he would like that at all. I have him fully leveled, but he will do nicely as the Vanguard. I also have Mash as my Grand Servant for one of the extras, as well as Abigail Williams, and I gotta say, seeing Mash pull damage in the millions is such a big treat. I can actually do the highest difficulty for Grand Olga Marie, like the giant one next to Mount Rushmore, in 2 turns, thanks to Mash. It's amazing. Yeah, I'm probably gonna gush about my best girl, but anyways, I should probably get started anyway, because I have such sights to show you. Welcome to Silent Hill F, Myths and Culture. There was a lot of culture to be done, too. Ah, yeah. Mash Best Kohai. Hell yes! Absolutely. Oh, I love her so much. Alright. So actually, let me bring this right over here, because I think this would be actually a little more helpful with what I'm seeing. So let me go ahead and put this out of the way. Good. All right. Everybody, welcome. For those of you joining us today, I hope you have some clear understanding of Silent Hill F, because there is going to be some fraction of spoilers, but not entirely spoiler, because I don't want to I don't want to ruin the game for you. That's all. But anyways, let me drink some water before. You know what? Actually, let me grab more water before I continue, because this is probably going to be hell on my throat, and I'm going to regret it later on. So if you give me just 1 second, everybody, I will be right back. Alright, I'm back. Hi! Welcome in. Welcome, everybody. Whew. Hopefully the music isn't too distracting as we go through. I kind of actually want to try something. Oh! Thank you for the hydrate. That helps. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the hydrate. You know what? Actually, let me try something. Because you know how one of Silent Hill F's writers was Ryuki Shio 7, right? Imagine some Higurashi music to go along with this. Yeah, oh my god. I am a big Ryukishi 7 fan. I love Higurashi to death. So when I found out about Higurashi, I mean the writer for Higurashi did Silent Hill F, I got on this like fast, you know? So anyways, here it is, Silent Hill F, Myth and Culture. So the one thing about Silent Hill F is its location. We all know what happens in the story, so it takes place in a town called Ebisugaoka. It's about Hinako, a girl who is plagued by mysterious happenings that end up with the death of one of her friends out of nowhere, and suddenly monsters are all over the place, contaminating and riddling the town in this mysterious red plague of red flowers. And we'll get to that in a bit. But we need to figure out what is Ebisugaoka's deal. So, Ebisugaoka is the setting for Silent Hill F, and it's also set in the 60s. This is around the time when certain technologies started coming up, such as radios, TVs, and such, but tradition still remained. There was still a lot of familial expectations to be had, such as men taking up the family business, so trying to be like their fathers and such. There's also women who were forced to abide by these expectations to be loyal wedded wives. And Hinako was definitely one of those people forced into these floods of expectations. Now, for Ebisugaoka's name, you will actually notice that one part of the name actually is from the name of a fisherman deity. In fact, it's actually one of the 7 gods of fortune, Ebisu. And Ebisu was the first son of Izanagi and Izanami, the creator gods of Japan. And when he was born while deformed and without a lot of bones. He was a very squishy baby. And so Izanami and Izanagi decided to toss him into the ocean, thinking, at least we're putting him out of his misery. Luckily, though, he survived. He survived and became one of the gods of fortune. Ugh. And now the suffix for Gaoka also means hill. So it translates basically to Ebisu Hill. Apparently this hill is quite more silent than it actually gives off, you know? In fact, it does actually look more like a silent town the more I look at it. So I guess it checks out. Now, the locals in Ebisugaoka actually worship Oinari-sama. And we will get to that too in a bit. Oinari-sama is the fox god, is the one who provides a bountiful harvest to those that sway her favor. And is also the god that brings messages of encouragement or even prosperity to those who meet her gaze. His or her, it's actually androgynous. However, in Abisagaoka, Oinari-sama was not the first god that they worshipped. Old legends actually spoke of a water dragon, one that contaminated the nearby water supply after, and hear me out on this, one of the newspaper clippings that you find across Abisagaoka pertaining to a sacred sword, which is an item within the game, actually talks about how Susanoo cut off all the 8 heads of the Yamata no Orochi, one of the heads flying nearby Abisagaoka. That head becoming the water dragon. And the locals believed that was actually the reason why their water was so screwed up. And so, they also pray to a sacred tree, which, in their belief, would actually help purify the lake. But when lightning struck down this tree, they thought, "Oh, this is a bad omen. What do we do now?" So they turned to the only other god that they knew of. They had fox statues all around Abisagaoka, which were for the worship of Oinari-sama. So they thought, you know what? Let's move on to the next best thing. We have Oinari-sama. But even so, despite that, this town would still soon be overrun by the curse of Oinari-sama, slowly overtaken by corruption and monsters as the game progresses each turn. Every time you make a milestone in the game, you will find yourself in a town that becomes more and more fleshy and contaminated with flowers and death. Now here's the thing about Abisagaoka. It is also, like Hinamizawa, one of Ryokishi 7's key locations for Higurashi no Nakokoro ni, this is Kanayama Ghetto in the Gifu Prefecture. In fact, I'm pretty sure that Ryokishi 7 really likes using locations from the Gifu Prefecture, especially since Hinamizawa is based off of Shirakawa Gulf. Hi, Sun Limited, welcome in. How are you doing? Welcome in, we were just getting started. And have you, by any chance, played Silent Hill off? Anyways, so the real location serves, of course, as the inspiration for Abisagaoka. If you play the game and you traverse through the maze-like architecture of the city, you'll notice that it is not too far off from the game. In fact, what they did for historical accuracy is that they adjusted a lot of the architecture to make it seem like it was in the 1960s. Because as Kanayama is right now, it's definitely modernized, for sure. But even so, the similarities still stand. And Ryokishi 7 really liked this city because of this labyrinthine architecture and its alleyways. Kind of gives you a little bit of that claustrophobia, especially when you're trying to run away from monsters and such. Now, if you actually look up Kanayama Ghetto on the map, you will not actually find a specific place where to look. However, if you are trying to look for it in the Gifu Prefecture, the best way to do it is to go to Kita Kanayama Station. Kita Kanayama Station is the one where you have to go in order to find it. And then it won't be too far off. Wait, actually, let me proofread myself because I want to make sure that it was Nita Kitayama? The Kanayama? Kanayama. Mount Kanayama? No. Kanayama Gero. I think it was somewhere around like Kita Kanayama Station. It has to be. It has to be. Anyways. I'll proofread more later. I don't want to distract you guys from the presentation. But anyways, they definitely collected a lot of reference material, as you see right over here, and recording the sounds of everyday life. All of those sounds in the ambiance within the game, that is from the real Kanayama, which is amazing. Now, I mentioned Oinari-sama, or as... Oh, thank you. I needed to hydrate. Thank you, Cox. Welcome in. How are you doing? You know, there's actually a ritual later on in this this presentation that I wanted to actually touch base on that involves water and purification. So it's like you're purifying me with water. So think about it that way instead of just like waterboarding me. Hold on one second. I can't believe I absolutely totally forgot about it. Where was it? I was in an ad, my bad. Not a problem, not a problem. How are you doing? Let's see. Hold on a second, where is it? Oh, hi! Hi, Orpheus, thank you so much. I shall stretch. I shall do that in a moment. How to find... And the posture check. Make sure to stretch them joints. I'm stretching. I'm popping. Ooh. Thank you. Okay. The hype is the real Kanayama. I can't find it. I had it. I had it in my hands. I don't understand. Wait, I do have it in my notes, though. Do I? No. Son of a gun! Oh, well. It'll probably work better for you guys if you find it. Anyways, so. Oinari-sama. Or Inari Okami to the locals. So... Inari Okami is the Japanese kami of foxes. Fertility, rice, tea, sake, agriculture, prosperity, and this is to name a few. Inari is basically like almost the god of everything. And this particular god is still worshipped today. And you know how Shinto has like over 1,000 gods? Well, Oinari-sama actually has over 1,000 temples all across Japan. This god is the main benefactor for Japanese culture, as far as I know. And it actually makes sense because they are one of the most principal kami in Shinto, their name literally translating to rice bearer. So this is the god that you would go to in order to ask for a plentiful harvest. If you're a farmer, or perhaps even prosperity, or even success at work. And of course, Inari has a strong connection to the Kitsune, or the fox yokai, that serve as spiritual messengers and guardians of her temples. You will see them plastered all around Japan in their respective temples, holding like keys, jewels, or scrolls in their mouths, like the reference above. There's even a certain way how to advance in an area within the Dark Shrine where you have to grab a certain item, a gem, and put it inside one of the Kitsune's mouths in order to open the door. And Inari Okami doesn't have a very specific gender because depending on what sort of role it will take based on what it is associated with, it will be female when associated with, say, agriculture. But it will be male when associated with metal and swordsmithing. And like I said, statues in real life, they have statues of the foxes holding a certain item. And each of these items have spiritual and Shintoism, I'm sorry, Shintoistic relevance. So, for the keys, it is basically the access to the granary, the divine granary. So, if you catch Inari-sama's eye and they find favor with you, they will bring one of their messengers to you holding a key, meaning that, yes, you are bound for a plentiful harvest. You will not go hungry this year. And of course, there is also jewels, or hoju, or star balls. These are symbols of wealth and prosperity, and also the magic and or life force of said kitsune. We stand a non-binary deity. Exactly. It's a deity for everybody. And now here's the thing that I found out about the jewels. The jewels also contain magic that a kitsune can use in order to grant you a wish, given that you can actually catch it, because these are mischievous little motherfuckers. They're not necessarily bad, but they're not necessarily good either. They will screw around with you, such is their nature to be fickle. And so if you catch a kitsune holding a jewel, it will grant you one wish. And of course, there is the scrolls. These are the words of Inari Okami themselves, granting wisdom and knowledge. And of course, how does this relate to Oinari-sama's role in Silent Hill F? Well, Oinari-sama serves as the patron god of Abisagoaoka and to the Fox Clan, one of the opposing forces that seems to try to get one part of Hinako's psyche to their side. Because at this point, once we know about the Fox Clan, Hinako's psyche has been pretty much split in two. That of the Fog Hinako and that of the Fox Hinako. The Fox Hinako being the one that is having to go through all the ceremony rituals. And what's funny is that Fox Mask's surname is Tsuneki, his family name, and it is a scrambling, it is an anagram of Kitsune, which is cute. But what I find really interesting about Kitsune in general is that depending on which Asian country you ask, whether it be in Korea or in China, they will all say that Kitsune are just as capable of doing evil as they are doing good. Because in China, there is even a legend about a fox that took on the form of a beautiful woman to siphon off the life energy of a royal or even the emperor, leading to even stories about Tamamo no Mae. Even Korea has foxes with these jewels that can actually siphon off the life energy of others, if they so felt like it. And now here's another thing that I found interesting within Silent Hill F, is that as you go through the story, you will be encountered more often than not by this weird little doll in a red dress that gives off ominous hints and or warnings, like, say, beware of the fox mask, or beware Rinko, please remember you are Shimizu Hinako. As if it's trying to interfere with what they're trying to do with Hinako. But to what end? It's my understanding that this could be a Tsukumogami. A Tsukumogami is actually a yokai that is created when old tools or objects gain a soul after their 100th anniversary of being. So, if you actually remember from my myth talk about K-pop demon hunters and the Dokoebi, they also found out the same concept, because Dokoebi don't have to look like Oni, but they can also look like household items as well. Usually those that have either seen or have been immaterial witness to a murder, perhaps those that were abandoned or even splattered with blood, gaining something of a form and a conscience of their own. Same thing with this. And their temperament is dependent on the way how they were treated by their former owners. So if you actually took good care of your belongings before it got a soul on its 100th anniversary, they would be benevolent. They would help out. However, if they were mistreated or abandoned, they would feel vengeful and even spiteful. They might even play tricks on you, or at worst, they will try to kill you. Or give you a heart attack with the way how they look, because Tsukumogami can also take on a physical form, either as an illusionary human form, or they will gain human-like features like eyes that shouldn't be there, or arms and legs that just look completely wrong. As you can see in the above picture as a little example. And for those of you who might actually be familiar with this kind of yokai, you might know the Katakasa, which is the living umbrella, the one with the eye and the mouth that's just hops around. That is also a Tsukumogami. And what's interesting about these Tsukumogami, they are a prominent force in a very eerie yet fascinating event in folklore called the Hyaki Yagyo, or the Night of 100 Demons. It's when a whole procession of yokai just come out in the dead of night to do some mischief, just parade around the streets of Japan, and most of the attendants are actually Tsukumogami. So, if you find yourself in a situation where you find this unholy procession walking around Tokyo, make sure that you have your belongings on you, because it could be that your family heirlooms might be prowling the streets of Japan. And now here's another thing. This is a bit of a very minor thing that I noticed in Silent Hill F, and that is regarding the main protagonist's sister. The main protagonist's sister is a mostly absent character, but I wouldn't say absent because she is also something of a spiritual guide to Hinako. Is she dead? Is she telepathically connecting to Hinako's flight, or is she a a manifestation of something within Hinako's psyche that is trying to guide her, or at worst trying to kill one of her psyche? Who knows? I'm not the psychologist here. But what I did notice is that Junko actually wears a mask very similar to that of a crow or a karasu. Now, karasu or crows are a very respected bird in Japan. I actually have a picture of a crow mid-flight when I was visiting Japan, and you will not miss a crow anywhere within the streets or in the parks. They are very respectful. They are really smart. And a lot of people treat them with respect because these may be messengers to the top guy, the very big honcho of the crows, that being Yatagarasu. Now, you might actually remember this particular name from, say, Persona 4, Persona 3, or any of the available personas that you can summon from the Persona games. I should have just led on with that. Anyways, Yatagarasu is a three-legged crow that serves as a messenger to Amaterasu. And what's interesting is that this crow actually has Chinese beginnings, too. Because in China, let's see, it dates back to Neolithic China, after which they merged with Japanese mythology and legends in 930 BCE. They took a lot of things from China, especially their language. That's how they have kanji now. And of course, crows are associated with the divine and the sun. If you see the crow within the sun, you can tell about its affiliation. They are the ones that fly around between the mortal and the divine realms, sending messages to the gods, especially Amaterasu. And the three legs that it has is actually attributed to both the realms, or virtues, and clans. Now, if you don't allow me to actually find the article that I use for this, I will explain more in detail. Let's see. All right, so the three legs that Yatagarasu possesses actually symbolizes heaven, earth, and all mankind, and that they all come from the same sun. All three of those come from the sun that is Yatagarasu. And they also represent the three virtues of the gods: wisdom, benevolence, and valor. And they can also represent the three powerful clans of ancient Kumano: Ui, Suzuki, and Enomoto. Now, this is interesting because Yatagarasu is also known to be a guide. And who did he guide? Well, that would be the first emperor of Japan, otherwise known as Jimmu. So, what happened is, according to the Kojiki, Japan's oldest written history, Yatagarasu is the incarnation of the god Kamo Taketsunami. And as Yatagarasu, he led Jimmu, the first emperor of Japan, through the mountains to establish his country. And Jimmu's clan originated in Kyushu, and he and his brothers led a eastward migration from along Soto Inland Sea, seeking for a better homeland. And when they reached what is now present-day Osaka, one of his brothers, Itsuse, leader of the expedition, was wounded in battle. And when Jimmu realized that they had lost because they were facing eastwards, fighting against the sun. So, a little bit of an oopsie on their part. And so he brought them over to Kumo, which is the present-day Mik prefecture, and began a westward push. And so Yatagarasu took on the form of a giant crow and flew to Jimmu's side to show him the way. And with that, Jimmu was actually able to navigate to the mountains of the Kumo and reach Yamato, which is now in present-day Nara prefecture. You might also know it as Kyoto as well. Anyways, back to this. So, being a crow, or actually possessing a crow mask, actually works for Junko in this case, because throughout the story you will find her stalking Hinako when she's either at her lowest or when she's absolutely lost. And she will either provide advice for Hinako to either give in or perhaps find out something about herself that needs clarification. She is showing Hinako the way. But she does have a favorite, and that is the Fox Hinako. I don't want to delve too much into spoilers, but you will see soon. Now it's time for the weapons! It's not a Silent Hill F game without the weapons, and each of the weapons that you find in the Dark Shrine, they all have cultural significance. Hold on, let me get some water. So, a Kaiken. You see it as a little bit of a dagger. You might even say it's a tanto, but it's not. This is a small ceremonial dagger that is carried by noblewomen and samurai wives. And this is a blade that is given to them on their wedding night. So if a lady is betrothed to a noble, then it is customary to give them this small dagger, adorned with both intricate patterns, flower patterns, or even symbols related to the family's status and or values. What's interesting about this is that they gave this bride a concealed carry. Because within the wedding dress, which we will get to soon, the Kaiken is supposed to be stored in a little pouch so that when the time comes for defense, they would pull it out and, well, stand their ground. And because of this, while it was made for defense, it evolved into symbols of women's strength and honor within Japan. I guess someone needs to gut their dishonored husband. Oh no! If the husband was being disloyal, then yeah, I guess. But here's the thing. One other thing that the Kaiken is also known for is the role in Jigai. Jigai is the female version of seppuku. And what they do, instead of the male version in which samurai would get on their knees, use a knife to gut themselves before somebody comes in with their own katana and lops their head off. And what's actually interesting about seppuku is that you can't cut the head clean off. It has to be hanging by a strand, which is weird. But if you fail the certain task, the one doing the execution is up next for seppuku. So it is very stressful. But for the female version of seppuku, what they do is that they use this knife to cut their left carotid artery, and they would bleed out from that. However, they would also bind their legs together before doing this, because by the time they're dead, some sick bastards might be on the wait. And they do this as a sign of modesty, tying their legs together so that they wouldn't look immodest in death. And next is the Naginata. You might know this weapon from some Japanese games, or maybe even you've seen Tomoe Gozen use this. Well, this is one of the weapons that women, or those who became housewives, actually used in their home, because the home to a woman is their own battleground. And so what a Naginata is basically just a long-ass katana. It's basically just a polearm fitted with a curved blade. It's a katana on a stick. And this is another mode of self-defense used by women, and onamusa. Onamusa are basically female samurai. They got their popularity from one of the onamusa being, like I said, Tomoe Gozen.
the wife of Yoshinaka. And when they were fighting in the Genji War, she made her claim and her name. And because of her contributions, they even set up schools for using the Naginata. And in contrast to a katana, which is more of a traditional, honorable tool of battle. Basically, they're the ones that you use for dueling. But Naginata, however, these are a battlefield weapon. These are used against unarmed foes and closing the distance. It's not good for cutting, but it does have reach. You can still stab people with this. And now one of the events that you will see in Silent Hill F is the use of Temizu and what is known as also Kagare. So if you see in the picture on the left, pictured above, you will see the spiritual practice of Temizu demonstrated in Japan and in the game. But before I can talk about Temizu, I need to talk about Kagare. Kagare is a concept of spiritual contamination or impurity. And what happens is this impurity either manifests as like bad thoughts or maybe even like depression or something. Very much like what those who come to see a mudong from a Korean would go to see in order to perform a gut in order to drive out the evil spirits contaminating their mind. And if this particular calamity goes on, it will sever your connection with the divine. In fact, some of the bosses in the game, especially the ones that you fight in the Dark Shrine as Fox Hinako, they are actually classified as Kagare, or impurities. So if you fight Sakuko, that is an impurity taking on the form of a perverse version of a Miko. And right after you beat Sakuko, Fox Mask actually brings Hinako to a water basin where they perform the spiritual practice of Temizu. And it's demonstrated step by step surprisingly well in the game, in which Fox Mask would come up to the shrine, first bow, then use the dipper to pour water on both the left hand and then followed by the right hand. Afterwards, they would pour water in one palm, put it in their mouth, rinse, and then carefully and discreetly spit it out. That is a way of saying, I use this divine water to flush out the purity, and I spit it out. And finally, once you're done using the dipper, you have to tilt it vertically so that any remaining water trickles down the handle to purify for the next user. Which he does the same for Hinako, but Hinako sees something differently, and it starts to give her a bit of a nervous breakdown. So this particular practice is essential for those who are heavily religious and or follow the Shinto religion, because before they can go into a temple, which is a holy place, they need to get rid of their impurity. So this is essential. Another thing that I found interesting in Silent Hill F is the use of Hokora. Hokora are like small wayside shrines. So if you don't have the miles to burn in order to go to, say, like a shrine, say in Meiji Shrine, you can always visit a Hokora. And it's dedicated to a minor kami that is not enshrined at the main grounds. So in the game, Hokora actually serve as checkpoints and or save spots where you can actually trade offerings for faith or improve stats. This is also true in real life because the food offerings like rice, mochi, and sake, these are all favorable offerings to the gods, especially Inari Okami, who prefers Inari sushi. And or fried tofu. There's also Abura Age, which is also another item within the game that you can also trade for faith points. And you will always find those by these shrines. Next up are the Emma, or the Omomori. Now these are interesting because Emmas are little wooden plaques that you will find littered around these little benches next to the shrines. And these Emma, they can be either decorated or colored before you put the wish on it. The wish is on the back. And so all these shrines in Japan give people the opportunity to either write their wish or buy protective amulets to help them on their merry way out of the shrine, and hopefully keep the faith with them. So with Emma, like I said, they are wooden plaques that you hang on these benches in order to write your wish. You might have actually seen one of these in a minigame, not a minigame, one of the missions in order to establish the social link with the fox in Persona number 4. And interestingly, the kanji for Emma translates to picture horse. And this is alluding to the fact that back then, before they actually used Emmas, they actually used horses as offerings for their wishes. It feels like a pink-haired Kitsune shrine maiden is laughing somewhere. Oh no, are you talking about Koyanskaya or... God, we love to hate her, but we also love her. Which one is it? I'm confused now. If evil, why hot? Anyways, so Omomori are different. Oh, Yae Miko from Genshin. I haven't played Genshin. I am so sorry. But anyways, Omomori are decorative charms or small pouches that you could buy at the shrines. I actually bought an Omomori with Kimi that we gave to her brother. And what these do is that it is known to either bestow health, good fortune, romance, academic, or business success, and wealth. And these are very popular amongst the Japanese people because you will find them also hanging from, say, like their book bags or their handbags, or maybe even like clothing too. And it brings a sense of spiritual security in everyday routines. So carry one of these on you. It's kind of like a little bit of a placebo, but if it helps keep your mind at ease, by all means. Now, here's one thing that is abundant in Abisagaoka. I have already talked about how Abisagaoka is overrun with these spider lilies. And these spider lilies, they're also called Higanbana. Or, if you prefer the scientific name, that would be Lycoris radiata. I hope I said that right. I can't speak today. 1 second. Okay. And what's interesting about red spider lilies, or Higanbana, is their meaning. It means death, rebirth, separation, mourning, goodbyes, and finality. Well, when those spider lilies started growing all over Sakuko, you knew it was the end for her. But here's the thing. We honestly don't know if this actually happened in Hinako's mind, or this actually happened. Because in Silent Hill, nothing can be taken at face value. Everything is symbolic. And the red spider lilies, or the Higanbana, are symbolic in their own right. They represent the finality or the separation from Hinako's everyday life. Because in the plot, she is supposed to be married off to a prestigious family. And the reason why these happenings are going on is because of her fractured psyche. And as if to say that your time in this village is now over, it's time to grow up, these red spider lilies start forming around her friends, around buildings, as if to say, this place is dead to you now. And not only that, these bloom at the end of the summer to welcome the coming of fall. So it also helps with it being a flower of rebirth. And there were even times in the game where these flowers would appear on a certain person, and the next thing you know, they turn into a certain monster. But I will not spoil. Not yet. And the Higan Festival also sees this flower on the graves of family and remembrance. So during that festival, you will see an abundance of these flowers. And one interesting little belief that the Japanese have is that whenever Higanbana bloom along the path of someone who you see, that means you will never see that person again. And there is a certain event within the game that captures this event perfectly. It may be overly symbolic, but it is an emotional it's an emotional event. And the way how they reflect that particular belief, it's amazing. Now here's another thing. Shiromuku. Shiromuku, as you see right over here, this is the monster that has been stalking Hinako since the very beginning of the game. It's usually covered in fog, but when it reveals itself, it is basically in a traditional Japanese wedding dress. Now, Shiramuku are considered first-class formal wear for brides. So if ladies, you are being married into a first-class family, you will be wearing this. And the reason why it's all pure white, not because it's just a wedding dress, it's because it is now bleaching out your original family colors so that the bride can dye them in the colors of the groom and their family. It is also adorned with embroidery and even details that create a sophisticated garment consisting of many layers, one of which holds a pocket or a hakoseko brocade pouch sewn into the dress that can contain a whole bunch of other cosmetic essentials such as combs, rouge, maybe even mirrors, or even the kaikon. Kaiken, I'm sorry. And then there's the headdress. That big domed headdress above the bride's head. Well, it's not just a veil. It's not a very intricate version of the veil of the wedding dress that we all come to know. No, this is actually a way of hiding the bride's horns of jealousy. A display of virtue and devotion to their betrothed. Now for the Shiramuku, it doesn't need horns to tell you that it is big trouble and that you can be in deep shit. Because this is a twisted reflection of not only the wedding dress, but Hinako's vision of marriage. Because aside from the dress that it wears, its face is cut off. There is no face, just a hollowed out grotesquerie. And what this seems to imply is that Hinako believes that being married off is the same as losing her identity, which is the last thing that she wants. And so this little fact is also why this is an imposing opponent to Hinako later on in the game. And now for the men's side. So we all know Foxmask, the Ikemen. He is the one who you find in the Dark Shrine, the first human, ambiguously human person that you find in the shrine that helps you on your merry way. And he wears a montsuki, which is basically the groom's attire. So the men's clothing, especially with fox masks over here is adorned with family crests and is reserved for only special occasions like weddings. So when Hinako first meets him, he's ready to be wed. And of course, he has about 5 kamon on both the chest, the center back, and the sleeves, which invokes high formality. This guy is from a very prestigious family. And as if his fox motif didn't surprise you already, he also has a little bit of a hanging drape in comparison to the traditional one, as if giving him something of a tail. Now here's another thing. You might have already known one of the bosses is Sakuko. And she plays pretty much the part of the Miko. As you see in the picture right over here, there is the difference between the Miko performing a ritual dance at a shrine to the Sakuko boss over here. Now Miko, which Sakuko is in the game's continuity and in real life, are shrine maidens. They are usually young, unmarried women who serve as a mortal bridge between the divine and the mortal planes. Kind of like the Mudong. Just like from our K-pop Demon Hunters review, Mudong also play this part. And this is also dating back to the Jomon era, where they worked as shamans, providing services just like the Mudong, transmitting messages to the deities and even purifying the masses. And just like Korean shamanism, it was prohibited in the later years, specifically in the 19th century, but it still survived. Whereas now, the duties involve aiding the head priest at the shrine to overseeing the general upkeep of the grounds, like sweeping away at the grounds, making sure that it's all clean. Everything's all spick and span for the day. And now for the attire that they have. The shozoku that they wear are traditional vestments of the Miko, and they consist of 3 parts. The first one is the hakui, a white kimono-like robe that symbolizes purity. The second one being hibakamo, which is a red pelted hakama, kind of like loose jeans, that represents vitality. And finally, over both of those is the chihaya, which is a white hiyori with flower designs and other emblems. Now for the Kigare Sakuko, the boss that you fight, you can tell that she is basically a perverse version of these vestments. And not only that, she wields a weapon that looks like a spike-covered tool that is reminiscent of a Miko's Kagura Shuzu bell. And this bell is used in a Kagura dance. What the Kagura dance is for a Miko is basically invoking Amaterasu, the sun goddess, and bringing her light down to the people. However, in Sakuko's case, she's using a twisted inversion of the Kagura dance by inviting darkness. First, she rings her bell to disorient you and covers the whole place in fog. And then afterwards, once you find her, she is drawing light that she will use to knock you down. And what's interesting also, too, that the usual colorful ribbons that are adorned on the dress, they're also replaced with a gnarly kusarigama. Kusarigama are no joke. That's a ninja tool, too. And now, the most relevant theme within Silent Hill F is the Fox Wedding. Now, if you excuse me, I'm going to grab also the article for that. And I shall explain to you in a moment. And after I take this sip. Okay, so a fox's wedding can mean two different things. Firstly, it's part of the legend about a invisible bridal procession led by Kitsune. However, it is also a kind of like an idiom for a sun shower. Have you ever been in a situation where you have seen the sun rise, but it still rains regardless? Back then in Japan, they would see this phenomena and they would think a kitsune is playing a trick on us. Because they believe that kitsune are actually using this phenomena to hide away from the humans in plain sight so that they can do their procession in peace within the mountains without any intrusion. And they call this Kitsune no Yomeiri. And in legends, it is a grand procession preceding the wedding of a kitsune. And it resembles pretty much an old-fashioned bridal procession in which the bride would travel from her new home, to her new home, among a parade of paper lanterns. And these would take place in the deep quiet of night, where they are led by a long string of kitsunebi, or phantom lights. Now, one of the legends shows a man that has actually witnessed a kitsune wedding. In the Miyazaki Prefecture, a man was traveling along the road in the woods, and then a sun shower begins. Knowing the legends, he thought, oh, a kitsune must be getting married. He takes the opportunity to snoop. And so what he finds is this beautiful woman ahead of him in the road. She turns back, smiles in his direction, and he followed her as she walked. And every time she turned, she smiled. Looks kind of sweet, don't it? Well, as he's following her, he notices that they have entered a grove of trees. She breaks a few branches, slides them into her hair, and they turn into beautiful hairpins. And she traces her fingers along the trunk of a large tree and circled around it. And as she did, her clothing transformed into a fabulous white bridal kimono. To which the man believed that she must be a kitsune. As he's following her, the woman approaches a bamboo grove, and countless fox faces begin to emerge from the forest. They're all carrying large ornate chests, and they brought it up to the bride for her to enter. And each of the guests is wearing a splendid kimono decorated with the family's crests. And so the man follows the procession deeper into the mountains. And finally, they arrive at a manor, to which the man believes that the ceremony is taking place. He searches around for a place where he could spy and finds a small peephole in the wall. From inside the manor, what he could see is decorated with expensive dining tables, a kitsune at each one. And it's just like a human wedding. And after watching for some time, the man grew tired and stepped down from the peephole, to which he has a smoke. And as he puffs away at his pipe, the scenery changed before his eyes. And that's when a great straw-thatched manor just a moment ago was now a wooden shrine. So basically what he saw was an absolute illusion. And what he thought was he was ascending was a stone staircase was just the pedestal of a great stone lantern. It was at that moment where he realized that he was bewitched by their magic. And to cap it all off, this particular phenomenon is also an idiom for what Hinako is going through in the Dark Shrine. She is basically getting groomed in order to become the ideal bride for her new family. I'm not going to go into the details of what kind of ritual she has to go into, but it is gnarly, in typical Silent Hill fashion. And so with that, that is the end of this slideshow. All right, let me bring us back. I don't know if this was like a little too short or not, but either way, I'm glad I managed to get it out of the way. This was like something that I've been waiting to share with you for the longest time. So let me get you guys back. And let me also change my media source too. Because I really like that I really like that soundtrack. There we go. There we go. But yeah. How are you guys doing other than that? I hope you guys enjoyed the presentation. Let me just adjust everything in my OBS in the meantime. That looks a little lopsided.
Oh, no tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering.
What do you mean? Nobody's crying over here. Who's crying? Anybody being a little baby right now? In this house of Inari? I will voice my complaints. I will make sure that no bountiful harvest comes to you. Would you like that? Nah, I'm kidding. I wouldn't do that to you. Anyways, I think it might be actually a good idea to pop out of this Dark Shrine, unless you like it. I quite like it myself. It's very roomy. It's got that natural musk. May you only find mismatched socks. I think those are in style, thank you very much. I know that Kimi would like to do that. It drives her crazy, but sometimes she's got to do what she's got to do. Excuse me. Yeah, not gonna lie, today at work was pretty, it was pretty much something. But today was the last day of the weekend. I finally got this out. And yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say on the subject. If you guys had any other questions, do you guys have any like anything to add to your experiences about Silent Hill F? What did you think? Feel free. I'm totally down for it. Y'all good? You know what? As long as I got you over here, I'm gonna also... No, I'll probably do that after the stream. I really like this fox mask, actually. It really brings out the dark in my eyes and just like, oh my god. I almost look like the guy, don't I? But yeah. Today was slow. Today was nice. It was, yeah. Sorry if I'm not yapping as much as I would normally do. I think it's because, like, this week has been also pretty draining. Because work has been picking up the pace with the calls and adding a lot of frustration. And I won't say what my job is. I won't say it. But it does annoy the fuck out of me. Oh, hi, Rifined! Welcome in! Hi! Thank you so much for the raid! How are you doing? If you guys don't know me, I'm Cass Wilder, part-time archaeologist, full-time explorer of the ancient world. Never threaten me with a wild time. I am currently, well, in a different scene of location right now. I am in the Dark Shrine at Silent Hill F, which is pretty, appropriate given today's presentation. And plus, I really like the fox mask. I really do. I'm pretty good. Sorry, work has been rough. It's okay. It's okay. It looks good on you. Thank you so much. You know, I really love Ryukishi 7's work, especially on Silent Hill F. And tomorrow, I'm actually going to be streaming with Michi, Akimi, and Seiji Hirose, continuing with Higurashi. So that's another Ryukishi 07 thing that I'm very excited about. But I don't have to worry about getting out of work and being absolutely tired. But yeah. Hopefully this weekend is not going to be as taxing or even as, how should I say it? Yeah. It's not going to be as busy or so. I think it's been pretty busy because of summer, but come Christmas time, the holidays and such, I feel like people are going to be very, very annoying too. But yeah, hope you're doing well, Infinite. Hope your day's been going well. Hope Mr. Rin's doing well as well. I can't talk today. Like I said, I'm off on my yapping streak, so if I seem a little bit out of tune, please forgive me for that. I am not usually like this. He got EP, so we had to end early. Aw, it's okay. I feel that though. I've been getting so tired lately. I don't know if I need like a break or something. I definitely need a break from work because I feel like that's the big stress maker of all time. But I don't know. I love streaming. I love doing this. I love putting on a show for you guys, dressing up like an idiot, and just, you know, make sure everybody has a great time, and that's also what makes me happy too. So tiring. It's the seasonal depression. You are right. You are right. You know what I love? What do you love, Cox? Hydration. You're right. This is probably my last bit right over here. Hydrating Cass. Oh, good. You know, I tried to do it like that, like those cartoons that just like squeeze the bottle right down your gullet from afar. I think I nearly choked on it. I think I almost waterboarded myself. I'm gonna. That was a strong bottle crush. That is all my frustrations from work. Pay that no mind. I'm gonna head out, have a good rest of your stream. Let's hang out soon. Absolutely, Rin. I would love to. I would love to. Whatever you want to do next time, either be it a game or just want to like yap, hang out, let me know. We gotta also do another song cover. Okay, I'll make you suffer. I mean, we'll have a great time. Hey, you never threatened me with a wild time. I'd love to sing with you again. All right, sounds good. Talk to you later. All right, have a good one. Ooh. You know what? I miss my place. I really do miss my place right now. I think I'm gonna go ahead and remove that. There we go. Everything is right as rain now. Oh, except for the music. I need to change the mood. This is not fitting for the ambiance that I wish to give you guys. Where is it? Where is the friggin'? Where's the friggin'? the friggin' thing. Found it. There we go. That's much better. It kind of glitched out for a moment there, did it? I should probably also change the dark lighting over here for a moment. Oh, no, no. Display off. There we go. That's much better. Well, everybody, welcome back to my room. Welcome back to my little cabinet of curiosities. The city inspector did not absolutely come by recently. No, absolutely not. I don't think I've seen him anywhere. If there's one person that I fear above all else, more than mercenaries looking for hidden treasure, it's definitely the city health inspector. Oh, I actually gotta ask you guys. With the fox mask, do you like the white irises? No, not the white irises, the white sclera or the black sclera? I feel like in a lighter perspective, I feel like the whiter sclera actually brings out more of my eyes compared to this, which would actually go a lot better with a dark atmosphere. I actually gave Kimi the keys to the kingdom with that particular edit, looking like she's a yandere. But yeah, I love what I did with this. I really did. Whew, okay. Okay, so... Ow. You know what? I think I might as well just, Oh, wait. Black sclera, but if you're in a pink room, maybe red pupils. I tried the red pupils. I need to actually ask my rigger about what can be done with my eyes, because I tried dyeing them a different color, but for some reason, green is just my color. It just it's just there to stay, unless I find something that will that can rectify it. I'll definitely try it. Ooh. Okay, you know what, last night I actually was hanging out with some people and we got to watch Heathers. It was my like third time watching it, or at least my first time watching it by a different production. I watched it from the Other Palace, which is I think like a British production of it, and it was still pretty good. A lot of the singers and actors, they weren't quite the same, but they really did their parts, and it was amazing. And of course they kept the jokes and a couple new songs, which were amazing too. But yeah, excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm not this tired. I'm usually not this tired. But I think that's actually a sign for me to log off for now. I wish I could stay on for much longer, but I gotta do what the body is asking of me. It's tough. In fact, it's actually... I hate my body sometimes. It will never do what I say. But I do have somebody who is currently up and available. I think you guys will like him. I think you guys know him. I am gonna actually rate you out to Syl. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining me on this Myth Monday. I will be posting the VOD very soon so that you guys, for those of you who came in a little later, can actually watch the presentation. So in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and get you guys rated out over to Syl. give him my regards, and hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your night. And tomorrow I will be streaming with Michi, Kimi, and Seiji in Higurashi, so hope you guys look forward to that. In the meantime, take care now. Bye-bye!